It's fascinating that for one to wonder why at this particular moment in the service, for example, that by Jewish tradition, and I wouldn't say that the tradition is prescribed in any particular place, meaning that if you went through all the areas of Jewish code, nowhere would you specifically find the suggestion that during the repetition of the Amidah that we pass the pushka around. And in fact, interestingly enough, that in early Talmudic times, even later Talmudic times, the tradition was a little different. And that is, before people would actually start davening, they would go to the pushka. It was always at the entrance of the synagogue. They would go to the pushka and give their tzedakah. But overwhelmingly, when you go to many shuls, I wouldn't say all, but many shuls, during the repetition of the Amidah is precisely the time that the pushka is taken out and circulated around the congregation. And that is the moment that tzedakah, charity, is given. And I suspect in some reason that it's the most passive moment of the service. Meaning that we're just simply sitting there and listening to something that we've already said. Unlike the Kriyat Torah, the Torah reading, where actually you're supposed to say the words along with the Torah reader, silently, just in a hushed breath, but you're supposed to read along with the Torah reader. The repetition of the Amidah is distinctly different in that regard, and that all you have to do is really just sit there. And so it's interesting that the tradition, instead of just permitting us to be obliquely passive at those moments, the pushka is introduced as a way of engaging us once again into an active sense of worship. When we come to daven, we do many things. We give of our time, and we give of our words. But the truth of the matter is the thing that we should give most of is what its truest name is. Because in our tradition, davening is known as avodat halev, which means the worship, the working of the heart. And the truth of the matter is, of all the things that we give, not only in davening, but really in life, it should be our heart. As a rabbi of the congregation, but also a fellow minyaner, I think we would all agree that there are many people who exemplify giving of the heart, but nobody exemplifies it more than Zoli. Zoli, who's here, who gives of his time, he gives of his words, but most importantly, Zoli, you and your family, you always give of your heart. And I know your heart inspires you, but it also inspires us. And so if you could just come forward along with Warren. So we have a very special gift here. It was presented by the Freeman family in honor of Azoli. So maybe you'll just, if you can just untether this. Can you untether that? So Azoli, I just wanted to read it for the minyan. It says, honoring the morning minyan by the Freeman family, we now are in possession of this stunningly new, beautiful pushka tzedakah box. And I hope the pushka inspires us to keep doing the things that we do so well.
Amen. Thank you very much. And I just want to share with you that certain things I remember going back many, many years, that my father was collecting money for Meir Bahanes. It's interesting that the rabbi and the community thinks of the same thing, pushka. And I still do that. I collect money for Meir Bahanes. Thank you.
Thank you. Mazel
Well, no coins because it's going to scratch your bills only. Turn back to page 147 of the silver.